Well, here's our Torqueflite for the Plan Z dart. It went from the dinner table to the work table. In the background, there's all kinds of construction going on in my shop. It's in the 20s outside, and I'm wearing a t-shirt in here. It's in the 60s in here. I just got my heat finished. There's a propane heater mounted to the ceiling over here. And installing that thing was like a sequel to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Roof. Plumbing. Electrical. You name it. But it's in, and it's running, and it's warm in here. But anyway, new panels going up. There's my ladder. There's 360s, some 318s. All that stuff's going to get all put up nicely, and I may wind up making something of a studio in here. But anyway, for now, here's what's going on with the Torqueflite. I'm going to see if I can go over some of these sub-assemblies freehand here. We'll see what we can do. It's very important with any transmission, but especially an automatic, to keep everything clean and orderly, and keep things in order. You know, snap rings, thrust washers, your overrunning clutch in the back, those sprags. Very important to keep that stuff from falling out, getting lost. So, like again, I don't do tutorials or anything like that, but just suggestions. For example, I know very well that that's a speedometer pinion assembly, but if I put it in a bag, it keeps it from getting grit on it and stuff like that. Same thing. This is a piston that runs low reverse. I've got it out. I've got it in order, in a bag, clean. Same thing for second gear. Each of the sets of bolts, pan, bell housing, even the filter screws, pump bolts, extension housing, valve body, put all them in bags. I've had to learn that over the years. You can spend an untold amount of time looking for one bolt because you didn't keep them all together. This is the little thing you got to take off to get to the snap ring on the bearing. That bearing right there to take the extension housing off. There's the extension housing itself. Nothing to really see here. We do want to make sure that the that bushing in the back is in good shape, and that one looks to be. That is important on these. The case itself looks good. I don't see any problems. Dipstick tube, that's uninteresting. The pan and filter. What else do we have here? Switch for the reverse lights. Here is the output shaft. To keep from losing that snap ring, I just put it back on there. And everything here looks good. All these surfaces are in good shape. The splines are in good shape. There's the governor. The governor is good and free. Moves back and forth like it's supposed to. When you want ultimate lightweight, that could be taken out. But this car needs to still be able to shift, so we're leaving it. This rear bearing's in good shape. Splines look good. All that looks good. Here's the sun shell. You can tell the close ratio 1980 and down transmissions from the wide ratio if they have the smaller sun gear. The 274 first gear is much bigger. It's close to the size of that thrust washer right there. What else do we have here? Here's your second gear band. This one, I've seen a lot worse. This one's got some, yeah, I don't even see that now. It's got some wear on the edge, but it could be reused. It is the cast iron one, the heavy duty one. This little strut right here, this is longer on a 727, but these can get bent. So you always want to check these for straight. And then something I like to do to keep them from bending is to sandwich on another little piece of steel and weld it together. And then you're sure it's not going to bend under the pressure of applying second gear. And there's your band for low gear, manual low and reverse. It has a little strut also, but it's much smaller. And that band is much heavier. It's cast iron. Here's your planetaries. Right here, take that out. Come out. Ring gear, keep thrust washer with it. Those spline onto the output right there. And for a car that's got a lot of horsepower, running a trans brake or something, most people prefer these in steel. I think for this car, on the starting line at 2,200 pounds, no trans brake, I think this will be just fine, and it keeps with the theme of the car because it's aluminum and it's light. And it's in good shape. Let's see, fiber washer in a bag. Stay right here. All right, let's see if I can pop that out. This drum is on anytime the car is in a forward gear. Let's see if I can do this. There's the pressure plate. It looks okay. Has some heat marks on the back side though, but it looks all right. There's the clutches. They have seen better days. And of course you got the pressure plate on the rear as well. It does have the heavier style spring. I'll try to find a picture of the lighter style and put up and show you. There's the front pump. Haven't been in there yet, but I'll check the clearances on that. I may elect to run the later style pump that has this vent protected from water getting in there. We're going to have a couple of holes in the top of the case that let heat out of the torque converter, and we don't want a chance of water getting in there. But I'll check this one out and see. It's a possibility. Thrust washer. Three pinion rear planetary, aluminum. It's in good shape. There's the ring gear. Nothing super exciting there. This is where it got more exciting. Save that for next. wavy snap ring. Here's the clutches. Looking nice and toasty there. And here's a bushing. Doesn't look horrible, doesn't look great. Looks okay. But I'll show you what doesn't. You can see that that's cracked. And those cracks are all the way around. And that's this. Here's the pressure plate that was in the high gear drum. I'd say the car's running that way. It's cracked in 8 places and actually broken in 6, but I've already found a replacement for it. I'll get into the valve body in a separate video. I like to clean those one spring at a time because it's kind of hard to ID those parts when they're all everywhere. But the car is going to retain its automatic shifting functions, and we want to make sure to save this valve body. And it looks good. It certainly looks better than the transmission did from the outside. Here's a little look at the case to show people what's going on in here. I don't like to take for granted that everybody knows what goes on in transmissions. They're kind of black magic to some people, and other people recognize them as being pretty simple, and everyone in between. But we're going to do a tech video next, but for now, everything in here looks pretty good. I actually went ahead, took a look in all the bores. Everything is healthy. Yeah, doesn't look like anything's cracked. Everything's in good shape. Case, even despite a healthy pressure washing, still has some scale on it, but we'll get that all cleaned up. That's it for now. The next video we do on this is going to be a video on the power flow, a tech type video, and then we'll have new parts in here and show the reassembly and all that. So getting excited. It's getting closer.